long time, or you just win Miss World. So they just want you to be on that platform, and suddenly you get married and slow their mission. They will vote you out, and when they vote you out, you can only be relevant on earth at 30. After that, you discover you cannot make at 38, at 30, what? 36. You can never make any relevant contribution in the society anymore, because you have disappointed the people that vote you in. Just like now, you vote me into office, and all the promises I made, if I go back, I'll do this, and I go back, I follow another thing. All those people that vote you will vote you out. By then, you will not have people that will vote you into the future, because you have disappointed others and follow one. So it's a kind of stage, and that is what stage now. I'm counting 777, so that is what stage of 7. That is the 4th stage. I told you that life is made of 7 stages. That is the 4th stage, and at that stage, you see some people, some of them will start even selling a little thing they made when they were between 20s to that 36, because they are entering another time, another period in life that they need to make strong impact. Okay, now some of them will start selling the little thing they have. Some of them will even be sick, because some will engage themselves into drugs and all that, because other people will not like you. They are opposition, so they are coming to make sure you make mistake. And in making sure you make mistake, and as soon as you make that mistake, you are over. And now at 49, at 39, there will be another election that will take you into the how many stage? Stage 5. Now, at 30, 49, there will be an election that takes you there. And now, this election, that is when you discover that if you are a footballer, you are retired. If you are a boxer, you are retired. I don't make it. If you are a boxer, you are retired. If you are playing handball, you are retired. Basketball, you are retired. Even if you are running athletics that make you so popular that you really don't know you, you are retired. All this group is gone. Then if you are a musician, that you have a hit track, sometimes you discover that you don't have any new song. You can only be coming only on Carnival. People will see your face. After that, nobody will know where you live. Nobody will know where you live. Because some people never represented the spirit that is following you, that back you up at your age 21. They disappoint them. And now, that is why suffering starts. Some disappoint their spirit at 30s. They disappoint them at 30s. Some disappoint them at the first stage. Some disappoint at 30s. And now, some of them will end up in prison. Some people you know very well, they end up in prison. Some will end up in raping. Some will end up in one way or the other. And they will not be relevant again. But at this point, they enter on the 5th level of life. That is another stage that is already a stage of messing up. Some that have children, some of them get divorced, a lot of things will start happening. Some the sickness will kill you, will enter your life from 39. Sickness that will kill you. Whatsoever sickness that enter your life from 39, don't look down on that, because that is what will be continue graduating until it takes you down. But let's not go too far now. There are some people at this stage, nothing is happening because they have disappointed the spirits. So they are just dormant. They are now in a situation of give us this day our delivery. They may have a visa to America. They go to America. Some of them that are ladies will just go there and live with a man. After some time they come back, they go again and live with another man. Some men, the same thing, they just go to it, and they just live like that. And some, you see them going back to their father's house. Some will start selling all the property they had when they were young, and everything finished before they get to 49. which the next election that if you are busy spirit, they will not vote you into the last stage of your life. They are the people that will be relevant until 50. And now, these people, when they are relevant until 50, they don't just vote them into life. They vote you as an ambassador. Now, they want you now to represent them. And in representing them, some of them, if they are musicians, you discover that it's only during like independence the president call them. If there is any president that visit, they are the ones that will go and perform. They are the guests they will bring because they are now voted as an ambassador. Now, but many people don't qualify being voted as an ambassador. Some of them at that point, the Holy Spirit disappears. The only spirit that will enter into your life is the spirit of sorrow. The last people that never voted, that their vote wasn't counted, they are the ones that will come out and say, this person must die. Because they want you to leave the earth at all costs. And that's why you see some prominent people suddenly have an attack. Because all the spirit guiding you goodness and mercy. And that is also the time that some people will say there is no God. How many of you have seen some young stars that come up and say there is no God? So we have started disappointing God already. And there are some of them that when they are young, they are always sick. There are some people when they are young, they are always sick. To the point of dying, always sick. Because the spirit that is there, they were so angry that you enter before them. So they want to take you with sickness. So if you survive it, you discover that when you are getting old, you can't be sick again until you die. There are people like that. Very sick when they were young. From 20 or from 22, they can never be sick. You can't see them in the hospital. You can't see them anywhere. They are always healthy. Even if they have sex with somebody that have HIV, they will not catch it. They are just immune to sickness. I tell you. And now, there are people that when they get to that age, that enter the 60s, the 50s, they die in the stage 6. From 50, from 49 to what age now? 49 to 56. If they survive it, some of them will now be voted into another life of the last 7. And this last 7 they are voted in is another kind of a special grace of 7. And they are the ones that suddenly you see them getting appointment in government. Before, you are not hearing about them. But suddenly somebody enter. Somebody that belong into the same kind of age-mate spirit. When they enter the earth, sometimes you meet them in school, sometimes you meet them in a business center, sometimes you meet them in your former office. As soon as they succeed, they want to pull you to that level. And when they pull you to that level, is the level of, is an ambassadorial level, another realm of ambassadorial level that you need to be. And when that level finish, you have to start packing your load to leave planet Earth. Because, how does it work? When they get to that point, from that 59 to 60 what? 59 to 60 what? To 59 to 66. Yeah, that is 65. That is 66 now, because you are finished to 66. You are now entering into your 70. And if you go to the Bible, once you reach 70 in Israel, you don't do no work again. You don't work. You just get back and start teaching children in Israel. That is the truth. So at that point, you are, they just, and that is why even in government, you get to that point, they call you, what do you call them here? No, what do you call them from 66 years? Senior citizen. Because at that point, they are no longer relevant for the government. They are no longer relevant for anything. And now they are just waiting. And if you are alive till that time, that is when you start making amendments and trying to control and advise younger ones. But it's only people that have special grace that will get to that. Remember the Bible made us to understand that we die on three score 5? Yeah, that says 75. Then if you are so lucky, you have grace that will carry you through. And I tell people, as soon as you get to that point, you get your passport. At 60 what? 60, 66. 66, you get your passport. You get your passport. As you get your passport, at 75, you get your visa. At 85, you buy your ticket. You buy your ticket. Between 85, you are ready to board. You board and wait in the lobby from 100, from 90s, depending on how early your flight will arrive. So some flight may be delayed, some flight will be on time, some will be delayed for 2 hours, 3 hours. Remember what the Bible made us to understand, a day is like 1,000 years. So depending on how many minutes your flight delayed. So apart from that, some people will get their passport this week and get their visa next week and board the flight, and the flight will be on time and they leave. Some their flight will delay, but definitely they will leave. And when you are about to leave, you discover that everything here is no longer good in your body. All the sweet things is no longer good in your body. The food people eat is no longer good in your body. If you have elderly people in the house, sometimes you give them food, they will not eat it. Then when the food is sour, that's when they that's when they want to eat it. So at that point, everything is like things are changing back. Your circle is revising back for you to really leave planet Earth. And when you leave, you don't even know when you leave, because some of them will just sleep, they don't wake up. Some just sleep, they don't wake up. Some people that really understand that they are living, they go to this hospital, they call their parents, their children, and say, "Stop taking me around, leave me. Because you don't be taking me around, I don't like all this machine." Sometimes you keep them in the hospital, they say, "Remove this." They start fighting the nurse. Start fighting and say, "Remove this thing, I don't want it, just remove it." They say, "Remove it, and just leave me." And when you leave them like a week, before a week or 2 weeks, they gone. Because they don't want you to continue keeping them here, because their flight is there. And you can imagine you are flying to New York and you are in the airport, and some people are saying, "Come, let's take a picture." And they are calling your flight, and they are calling your name, Crystal, or whatever. Come, your flight is ready, and you are taking pictures. You are delaying. And that is why some of them will say, "Stop delaying me, I need to go." Because that is the worst thing that can happen to everyone. So life is built on this circle. And in that regard, we need to understand ourselves. Amen? And know and ask ourselves, which level are we? Let me tell us this. Everything I achieve in life, I achieve it between 22 to 35. Between 22, everything I have today. And that is why you need to get good managers, good people that understand you spiritually and physically and all. If not, you will suffer. And now, everything I achieve it within that time. Between 35 till this time, I have not buy any new building. No. Everything I buy it that time. All I'm doing is to manage what I have. And now I'm waiting for the last voting to know how far I can still go. And that is why I'm not in a haste. I'm not competing with anybody. So if you are buying your car now, good for you. I buy my own in those days. And the same value of the money you are buying the car now is almost the same value of money I buy when I buy. I don't know whether I'm making sense here. So, but now, some people die early because they start competing. Some people start competing in ministry, and by so doing, they are making mistakes. And I don't want us to make mistakes. And that brings me to the point that this prayer arena was built for us to really pray and get results. Amen? Pray and get results. And that's why I decided to get some bells on the altar. And some people may be wondering, why bells? I like to teach people what I do and I succeed. Do it, you will succeed. And these are the things that controls your surrounding, controls your voting, controls the ones that will come to cause trouble for you, and controls the one that will come to bring blessing to you. I talk too much? It's a mystery. Now, the problem we have in life is that there are some people that they are not ready to teach you what they know. And when people don't teach you what they know, when they die, what they know goes with them. But when you teach people what you know, there are a lot of people that could not fulfill their dream, they're gone. Now, I want to, every bell have different sounds. And different sound control different environment and pass information to different spirits. Is somebody getting me here? Who hear what I say? All right. Do you know the ambulance that carry dead body? The siren is different. Police siren is different. Fire siren is different. If you are in a place that military people normally enter the town often and on, their siren is different. So, if you have been in a church in those days that people, the British brought the church to us, you discover that they ring bell. They use bell to control the location, like bombing anywhere the church, they use bell to control. There is a way they ring the bell, you know that somebody is there. As soon as you hear it like that, you say, oh my God, who is this person that died again? And and there is a way they ring the bell, you know it's an old woman. There is a way they ring the bell, you know it's a young person. And also, they have somebody they call, that they keep there, the timekeeper, to ring the bell. Sometimes, they use the bell to control the times of prayer. They still do it in some countries now, even in London, even in school. There is when they ring bell, you know, there is a bell they ring, you know, it's change of lesson. A change of teacher. Another teacher is coming. The teacher that's there in the class is about to leave. There is a way they ring you to know it's a break time, and there is a way they ring you to know that school is over. So that is the same thing, and we need to know that the physical controls the spiritual. So that brings us to the bells in the altar. And I want to really turn on because I want you, every individual, to get the answer to this prayer. Control some of these spirits. Some of them follow you to the church and they're comfortable. And they cannot leave you. They control your mind. How many of you know how Satan talks to you? How many of you know when Satan is there? You want to know when Satan is around you? Fear. As soon as you are afraid of him, Satan is dealing with you. But do you know how you know that God is with you? When you have peace and joy. You know that God is there, that is when you talk. There are some of us, when you come in front of the altar, your mind is wandering into a lot of things and you cannot even pray. Am I doing some of you? You just see yourself kneeling down there, kneel down and say amen, you stand up. People will think you pray. It's only you that know you never pray. That you just waste your time in front of the altar. So that brings me to this point, and I want to share to us one or two things. But let me read this place in the Bible. Let's go to Exodus. Exodus. Yeah, you can ask questions. But I just want to take to this point. Or do people want to ask questions first before we go to this point? Okay, Exodus 14. Exodus. Wait, let me check. Alpha, Omega, Alpha, Omega, you are present today. You are present today. Exodus 39. Let's see Exodus 28, verse 33, and Exodus 39, verse 25. Exodus 39. Exodus 28. Who is reading? Any person reading? I want to show you two types of things here. Exodus 28.
And beneath upon the hem of it, thou shalt make pomegranates of blue and of purple and of scarlet round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between.
Now, I want to take a seat. Let me just tell you something. This is important. There are a lot of folks that want to. There are a lot of us. If somebody getting me now, I want to teach you one or two mysteries. There are some of us that want to attract what I call guiding angels. You want to attract your guiding angel. Guiding angel. Angel that will guide you. That is how you have to decorate a place to look like. Sometimes if you have money, decorate your room. Decorate one room, either your bedroom. But there is a mystery about this. If you decorate your bedroom like that, you don't take no man. If you are not married, you are not taking your boyfriend to that bedroom. You can have 3 rooms. You can take him to any other room. But not that room. Amen. If you are a man, he said, you can take any person to any room, but not that room. As soon as you do that, you have desecrated the place and you are about to face serious calamity for that. Either you are in or you are out. And this decoration is very important. If you want your guardian angel, I'm talking about those that need, there are some people that need sign. When they pray, they say, I need sign. You know there are people like that? The people that pray, they say, I need sign. God, guys, if you are the person that pray and you want to walk by sign, you need to get correct sign. Because those angels that God has sent that touch you in your mother's womb, that make you the first to enter the air, they are the ones you have to welcome in that place to continue to help you on your blind race, to help you right now on your physical race. I talk too much now. Okay. And that is how you will make sure that the room is, and why the bell? When that bell sounds, that angel knows that it's time for me to help you. It's time for me to take your request to Elohim. It's time for me to listen to you and take whatever thing that you're feeling, your pain. You see, the problem we have in Christianity, and more especially Pentecostals, this problem sometimes it makes me mad. It makes me mad. You see, Christianity, I love Christians, I love Christianity. But the early people that bring it doesn't bring it with good intention. They bring it for business purpose. They bring it for control, for intimidation. And you discover, I'm a Christian, I love Christianity and all that, but I need to tell you the truth. You discover that a lot of religion fight you if you don't come from them, they fight you. If you are not a Muslim, as a matter of fact, you die. If you are not a Christian in those days, you die. If you are not a Hindu in those days, you die. But there is only one, like Judaism, the people that believe in this kind of environment that God has given to them. Judaism can never force you to be a Jew. No. They allow you. Even Joshua would say, worship what you want to worship, but for me and my house, he selected that one. Oh, Jesus, help us here. Let me bring you to this point. Maybe this point will help you out. Now, can you read that place again, my colleagues? Read that place again. And beneath upon the hem of it.
Thou shalt make pomegranates of blue.
Yes, blue.
And
And
of purple.
in purple.
And of scarlet.
And of scarlet.
Round about the hem thereof.
Round about the hem.
And
So
the
it's
bells
going to be a cutting. It's a cutting kind. So, what are you saying? I don't know what is tassels. Fine. Curtains, it has to be decorated with those things round about in your altar or your prayer altar. But make sure, thank you, make sure that that particular altar of yours, if you have it in your bedroom, please, I am begging you, if this altar, if you want to do this and you want to do it where your altar is, I have told you the implications, you don't. There are things you don't do there. Huh? Yeah, if you are married, yeah, no problem. But if you are not married, there are things you don't do in that room. Wherever place you put this decoration, there are things you don't do there. Amen. But there are things you can do it other places. There are things, I'll give you instructions that will follow that. And these instructions is very important that you have to follow it. Let's say, for instance, if it's in that room, in your seat, in your bedroom or whatever, even if you and your wife, you cannot drink anything that have any kind of percentage of alcohol in that room. Never. The kind of bottle will not even enter that room at all. Let's say now, this is a bottle of alcohol, there is no longer alcohol in it, amen? And you just take it and put another thing and take it to that room. So far it has contained. Because you need to be controlled by that spirit, because everything has a spirit. And this doesn't want to collide with any kind of spirit. So these are part of it. But I'm going to later time to take, maybe if you're asking me a question, maybe I'll be answering you, maybe you continue to understand. Anyway, that is it. And when that bell is ringing on your hand, more especially on your right hand, not the left, more especially on your right hand, calling upon God for any purpose, that angel there has to go with you, is going to escort you to your destiny. I'm telling you, it's something that some people that call themselves Pentecostal people, some practice it, but they can't teach their people to do that because they want to still be a law as Christianity. The people that brought the Christianity wants to be a lord over the people. And you watch Jesus, that is the master of our faith, you discover it's not a law to any person. It's not a law to any person. But the people that follow him wants to be a law. The person we are following, his job is to do good. Do what he needs to do. His job is to give to the less privileged and the needy. But the people following him, they are taking from the privileged and the needy. They are doing opposite. And you know why people still follow? Because everybody wants to be gullible. I don't know what you are getting me. Now, Also, Jesus taught us something. Jesus makes his disciples to follow him because of the promise he made us. And now, this promise he made us, and the same promise is what we are following, because everybody wants to experience that. And by so doing, some people decided to be lazy. I mean, some Christian nations, if you watch England can never support any Christian nation. Rather, they support Muslims. I'm talking about the almighty England. England is ready to remove Rowdy. If they see a strong Muslim in this country, they will support him and put him in. Because when they put a Muslim, they are happy because that person will continue to terrorize you for their benefit. The person will continue to terrorize you for their benefit. And people also fear that religion, so for that, because they know how to control them. They have the things they use in controlling them, so they know where to send them, and when they do their things, they know how to control them, both in England. And that's why you see them in England. England is like the second home of Muslims. They are everywhere. So, what am I trying to say? We need to be very careful because God is with us. Now, let me show you another place you're going to read. Exodus 39:25. What did he say? Exodus 39. And they make bells. Now read it. Your Bible don't have Exodus? Oh my God. What is that a good Bible? No, go ahead.
Okay.
And the men.
And they made bells of pure gold, and put bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates.
Now, I want us to, we are going to Google to know what pomegranate means, and I want to let you know the kind of thing that will be in your altar. Amen. The kind of thing that will be in your altar. And that is, if you don't have the pomegranate, you can get it in Africa, but if you don't have it, any other fruit can present it. You have it? Fine, praise God. Alright. So I'm going to. You have it here? Alright, so okay, go ahead. Read it again. Let's so that you can understand. So far you need signs. All those children that like science, and I will teach you how to get science. All right, go ahead.
And they made bells of pure gold.
Yeah.
And put the bells between the pomegranates, upon the hem of the robe.
Yeah.
Round about between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate. A bell and a pomegranate. Round about the hem of the robe to minister in, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Minister in. When you want to start the ministration here, that is what you must have in your right hand, left hand and right hand. It has to ring this as you hold that in your right hand. Amen. Because it's something that always attracts the spirit. It attracts your, what do you call it? It attracts your guiding angel. It attracts it. It's just like there are things that attract little children. There is something I want to give this child now, she will not take it, but there is something I want to give. If I carry this laptop now to give she, and carry some chocolate to give she will leave the laptop and take this. Because that is what will attract. So many of us go to our angels and we come to church, but we do things that never attracted the Spirit to help us. Okay, continue reading now, please.
Okay.
Continue.
Round about the hem of the robe to minister in, as the Lord commanded Moses.
Mhm.
And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and a mitre, and a mitre of fine linen, and a godly bonnet of fine linen, and fine linen breeches of fine twined linen.
Okay, before we go ahead, because we are going to look at there is something, in case, because I'm not going to be around. Amen? That is why I'm getting that instruction for people that will be in prayer arena. These laws is what govern prayer arena. It's not in other branches. But so far the church wants to come to that level, that is what they need to do. I am not going to be there, but your help must surely come. Amen? Now, there are two persons always that they have to make a special garment for that attracts. So that whenever the church wants to enter into that kind of holy convocation, these two persons that have that is the person that will stand with whomsoever there is a pastor that is going to be in your altar to minister to you, to put upon that person. They are the ones that when they dress up and come out, they are the ones that will hand over the bell to the person that is going into the presence of God. I don't know what that makes sense. They will be the ones that will hand over and the person finish and come down. The people are the same people that will take it from that person. When the person goes down, and as soon as the person comes down from that place, from the altar, the person needs to go and take his shower straight. The person that climbed to do the ministration has to go down and take his shower. It's not to go down and start talking to people. Go down, straight on, take your shower, and ask God to continue to be with you. Why? Because you have carried the presence of everybody, and you don't need to use it to go out. You may take trouble to your house. Amen. You may take trouble to your house. So for that you need to take your shower. Okay. And also the person that will be there is some things, laws that will govern it in case if the church wants to come on what I call holy convocation. For them to really be in the presence of God, do what they need to do in prayer, and everybody in the congregation must receive a blessing. All right, go ahead on that.
And blue and purple and scarlet.
Okay, that is just talking about the color that we are going to decide on the people that will wear it. Amen. Okay, but if you go to go read that for me, read 10.
And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like to the engraving of a signet, holiness to the Lord.
Fine. Now, this is where we're going to really anchor on. The person, whoever that is going to climb the altar, must use like 72 hours to separate himself to be before God. Asking for his own forgiveness of sin so that he will not have problem as he comes out from the altar on behalf of people. And that is why you see some people when they are going for crusade, they say, I want to go for prayers. Because all have seen and come short of the glory of God. Some seen by what they see, some seen by what they touch, a lot of things. So you use like 72 hours to separate yourself before you go in. Can you read like 36?
36. Okay. The table and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for the light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door, the brazen altar, and his gate of brass, his staves, and all the vessels, the laver, and his foot, the hanging of the court, his pillars, and his sockets, and the hanging of the court gate, his cord, and his pins.
And let me tell you how when I was waiting for them to open. When they opened the borders, the church will buy a ticket for somebody because it's visa free for people with trade passport to go to Israel.